What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Talk on Tap podcast. We're here. You can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the four major sports leagues, whether it be NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL news, games, highlights, all that fun stuff. And in today's NFL episode, Nick, obviously said it before, it's kind of the quiet time, before training camp really begins to pick up in a couple weeks. And we're here for reckless speculation, as I like to call it. Just kind of, figure out what the plan is. And we had a proposed question today for the Steelers. Who would this bring the Steelers more success as a starter in 2024 and 2025 or season? Yeah. Wilson or Fields. And this kind of took me a little bit to think about, as we we're even recording our other segments. But I feel like for me, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson. I think being with Sean Payne helped him a little bit, just numbers-wise. Last year, obviously, the Nathaniel Hackett year can't be really unbeaten. But I still think Russell Wilson, I still like to think has a good mind for the game, has a good read on what's happening. I've even seen in glimpses like last year, his deep ball was still really good, but he just wouldn't throw it a lot. And I think coaching didn't prop him up to do that. And I think, obviously when your coach goes to you after Winston, you got to take a pay cut. How much of a morale does that have on you? But I think Justin Fields obviously still has a lot of potential, but I also believe he still has a lot to learn. He got thrown into the fire his rookie season after like a couple of games. I forget who was even starting for the Bears that season. Was it Mike Glennon or something? It was really
was it
before they.
It wasn't Trubisky, was it?
No, it wasn't Trubisky. Before they switched over to Fields, and it was just like it was a disaster. He didn't get much learning time. Got immediately thrown into the fire and had these rising expectations. They traded him. They traded DJ Moore to help him out. And we've seen glimpses. We've seen all the potential, the scrambling, even sometimes the passing. But most of the time, it's kind of been, at least passing-wise, not really been that good. It's just been a lot of inconsistencies. I think Wilson Wilson knows what he is at this point in his career. He took the minimum to come to play for Pittsburgh. He's just going to do what he can to win games, I feel like, right now, and be a mentor to Fields. I think Wilson can still, lead the offense, methodically. It's not going to be like maybe Fields, could provide that more mobile, 30-yard rushes. But Wilson, I believe, can still stay in the pocket, scramble a little bit if he needs to, and just, find the open receivers, Pickens, Freiermuth, whoever, that may be. I just think it's more so just a one-year thing. Russell Wilson comes in, and then Justin Fields takes over and is the building block if, the Steelers believe he's ready. And Justin Fields can just, similar to what the Drake May and J.J. McCarthy thing, except like 3 years into his career, he just gets to learn a little bit more, which is what I think he needs to do, just because, it also helps getting a lot of reps, but, you need to see from the sidelines as well. And he really didn't get that his rookie year. He just kind of got thrown into the fire with Allen Robinson as his wide receiver one. It's like, damn, and a terrible offensive line.
Okay, so you're saying just overall should be Wilson all year long. Just let him learn. Let him.
I would say at least, maybe for the first half, if the Steelers feel like he's ready, because, he has played a good amount of games, and then, Wilson's struggling and the team is still in the playoff hunt, and they want Fields, okay, then I could see it. But I think at least to start the year, I think Wilson has earned the right as the veteran to, get the start. And I think he has the experience, to be able to lead his team, at least, for the start of the season. But, he sacrificed all his money to take a vet minimum. So.
I'm in agreement with you starting-wise, but I also think, like, say, defense is playing great, but the offense still isn't putting up points like they have been. I don't think Mike Tomlin will hesitate when it comes to putting in Fields and just seeing what he has.
Yes, that's probably true too.
I do want Justin Fields to be able to learn from somebody because he's never had that in his career. He's kind of just had to learn literally like in games how to, read things and how to go
Yeah.
about doing everything. And it's kind of hurt him obviously because he's not, the passer that he was in college. He's obviously a great runner just because he's a naturally gifted, he can fly all over the field, runs like a deer. Uh, maybe Maybe he's so good at that just because of how bad Chicago's O-line was. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he was, thrown in there week 6 or 7 because Russell Wilson's, up to that point, he has like 6 TD passes, 5 interceptions. He's put up no yards. They're not moving the ball. Just, to see what he's got and maybe they mix and match. I know the old saying is, when you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. So they are going to
Yeah.
have to decide on a starter, like a starter to believe in. And I think at the start of the season, you're right. It will be Russell Wilson because I think this team right now, their ceiling is probably higher with Russ. Like if Russ is playing at his best,
Hmm.
it'll probably lead to more success because he's not going to be turning the ball over. He'll be, driving downfield, making the right plays,
We saw a glimpse of it in Denver last year. He was one of the most, accurate quarterbacks and best touchdown to passing ratio. Was kind of just taking care of the ball. And Denver went on that famous 5-game win streak. And part of it was just good defense, but we know the Steelers have amazing defense. So
Right.
just not turn the ball over. I think it'll put them in a place at least at the beginning of the year when people don't really know what to expect to at least just get some drives and move methodical and be able to win some games.
Yeah, I think the thing is, even with Fields, when he's feeling it, throwing the ball, he still isn't smart enough to know when not to throw it somewhere or when to fit it into a tight window or try not to fit it into a tight window or something like that. And he would just, even when he's feeling good, he might turn the ball over a few too many times. He might scramble and during a play when he shouldn't, and then he'll get hit, potentially injured or fumble the ball or something like that. So it's just he's just young, and I think he just needs to learn. And I think it's a good guy to learn from in Russ because obviously he's not what he was, but the fact that he's done it before in Seattle for so many years, he can teach Justin Fields how to do things. The character of Russell Wilson, I can't talk about because I know there's been different things that have gone around. Former players on the Seahawks kind of said they hated him. And
Yeah.
just how he would get his own
He's a
special.
weird guy, obviously.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. His whole Mr. Unlimited, all that weird stuff that he does. But I mean, it's not like he's at least that I've seen. It's not like he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just,
think he's like an
kind of his
awful
own.
teammate. He doesn't, he's just a weird dude that people are just like, whatever. The Broncos country let's ride thing was absolutely absurd. But
That
the fact that he would be saying it after losing games like that, I don't like
thing is, I don't think Steelers fans are gonna want to put up with that whole It seems like he's never emotional, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even after the game losing pick in the Super Bowl where they lost the game because he threw a pick, he just took his shin strap off, clapped. He was almost like he was like, oh dang it. It's like, dude, I get not wanting to show your frustrations and all that, but show some emotion, show that you care. Because I feel like in Denver they probably don't care as much about that, but Pittsburgh's a football city. Those fans, their week depends on whether the Steelers are going to win or lose. So you got to, be able to show out for that city. The defense is going to carry a lot of the load for you. So it's not like they're asking you to put up 40 TDs a year. Just don't lose the game for them.
Yeah.
I think for either one of these guys, that should be the goal.
We seem pretty consensus on this, and I would say part of it for me is also just this division. I wouldn't want to throw Fields right into that Browns defense that was ranked number 1 that has Myles Garrett. The Baltimore Ravens that can scheme anything up was the top 5 defense last year. Still got Roquan, just kind of a welcome to the league moment. And obviously, the Bengals are always super competitive and one of the best teams in the AFC when healthy. So it's just going to be, you don't want to just let him, see it. Russell Wilson has dealt with this thing before. So, I think we do our agreements as of right now. If the season were to start, we'd probably both have Russell Wilson as more successful, even though, Fields may provide that rushing upside. I think Russell Wilson just passing, knowledge of the game will be good. And I think Fields taking a step back, a breather after a couple of rough years in Chicago, but also some bright spots too, which is why they trade for him, to, just kind of learn, which I think will be beneficial, which we both think will be.
Yeah. I'm
Steelers
excited to see if they scheme him at all. Like, obviously, Madden had him at kick returner, so they're thinking of that. But
yeah,
just
do they run different packages where they use
right?
Fields
I think they will.
and
I think
pass?
that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Because he's fun to watch when he's running the ball. Like, I can't lie about that. When he's running for 150 yards a game as a quarterback, it's pretty cool to see.
It is. But with that being said, obviously, interesting. One of the best divisions of football. How will the Steelers compete? We both think they'll be competitive, but just, can they surprise and win the division, or will this be the finally the year where Mike Tomlin has a losing season? It'll be, a lot to watch for. But as always, we'll see how their training camp is looking, what they're using Justin Fields and what Russell Wilson's doing. As always, though, we're going to be here to recap all the news highlights. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and we'll be right back here, making videos even on the 4th of July, still grinding for you guys. As always, though, we do appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.